Hello everyone, this is Baxter and this is a video about Dynasty Warriors 9, a game that's not yet been released and it could be coming out within the next few years. And the reason I'm making this video now is because recently I was on the internet and searching up about random stuff and I came to an article about Dynasty Warriors 9 and what it potentially could be like, and the person who did the interview, who was working at Koei and working on Dynasty Warriors, said that they could revamp the game for this newest installment. So I'll link the article in the description below to go and check it out yourself. But yeah, I just want to talk about it, what I want to see, and also ask you guys what you want to see. So first of all, I'm going to mention what I think the release date will be. Now hopefully, if the game has been in production for quite a while, this game could come out as early as next year, like this time next year, so 2016, around about October, November-ish. That would be really good. However, realistically, if they're just getting started on it or they're not that long into it, it could be 2017, like mid-2017, like maybe June, July. But if it's going to be pushed back and they're not started yet, or they're just getting started, it could be 2018 before we see anything about it. But that's what I wanted to mention, and now on to my suggestions. So this is what I would like to see in the game and what I think would be great in the new Dynasty Warriors game, and see some stuff brought back and some new stuff added in. So I'm going to start off with story mode. Now, the story mode's been a bit new in this recent one, where there's hypothetical stages, hypothetical routes and all that good stuff. But I would like them to go back to like a story mode like in Dynasty Warriors 5. Now, if you don't remember, each character in Dynasty Warriors 5 had their own story, all the main Musu officers. Now, I would love to see that back, because that was a great thing to have, because you can play through each character's story, learn about their past and what happened with them, their final battles and stuff like that. And with all the new characters, I believe it'd be good to do this so you can get like you can get to learn each and every character, not just a certain amount of characters. For example, just Liu Bei, just Guan Yu, just Zhang Fei, and like the main ones. You can learn about the sub characters, not the main ones, and like people like Ma Chao, who are in the game but only really are predominant in like maybe 3 or 4 stages. You can actually play through those stages with that character. It'd be really good to have all the characters have their own story, and I think it'd be a good thing to bring back. Now, I'm not saying they should get rid of hypothetical mode, but that should be a new mode as well. Like they should have Musu mode, which should be each character's story. Then the actual story mode, which goes through the main battles for each kingdom. And then in that, there should be hypothetical battles. For example, like they've had in Dynasty Warriors 8, but this time, more bad hypothetical routes. So for example, if you went down the normal history, usually it ended with what happened usually. So Wei Wu and Shu eventually fell, and then Jin took over. But I would like it were that, for example, at the Battle of Chibi, if you played as the Shu forces and you actually lost that battle, a hypothetical route that your kingdom went down after losing that battle, I think that'll be interesting to play through from the Shu side of it, and how you can either bounce back from it or what would happen if they lost a key battle. It's like a good hypothetical and a bad hypothetical. I think that'll be really interesting to play through. Also, if officers could leave in hypothetical situations, for example, if you lose the Battle of Chibi, people like Pang Tong would go to Wei, people like Ma Chao and Ma Dai and everything will go to Wu. Like a certain, if one thing happens, it starts a chain reaction of events that fucks over your kingdom and like affects what happens. I think that'd be really cool to have, and also maybe that your choices have a more drastic effect. Like you can choose to save one of 2 officers. If you go and save one of them, you can go down another route where they want the presence and whatever they did in those upcoming battles wouldn't happen. Or you can choose to save another one and the other officer died and whatever they did doesn't happen. Or you can save them both. That's like a hard thing to do, but it'll be like more rewarding. Just like more things can happen, more branches in the hypothetical routes. I think that'll be interesting and give it more gameplay, and more replay value. And another thing they should really do is bring back bodyguards, because bodyguards are a really good thing to have in the game. And it doesn't have to be named officers, like just no named officers or officers that are predominant in each kingdom but don't have their own like unique look, like non-Musu officers. They'd be really good to have as bodyguards. You can improve them, get them better with training, but they can die as well. So if you send them out to go and take on 7 people, they will die. But if they're losing a one-on-one battle, obviously they retreat, come back, something like that, so they can die, and you can like have to train up another person. You have to actually look after them more like strategically, not just you go out and do this shit. That'd be a good thing to have. Now, on to one of the biggest things I feel the problem has been with the latest Dynasty Warriors, which has been the weapons for the main officers. Now, I've got 2 sections here. One is that the weapon should change for the officer, and one is that the weapon should be improved or slightly changed, like just maybe the look of them. But these are the officers I think they need different weapons and what the weapons could be. So for example, we'll start with Gan Ning. He currently has a flail. No, that is wrong. It's so wrong. He just does not suit the flail. He needs to either have the sword, the scimitar like he used to have, or twin daggers, because that kind of makes him feel more like a pirate. Have like that will be good for him because that's what he was, and it makes him seem more piratey, what he actually is and was, a pirate, not having a flail and being weird. Next person's one guy, the arm blade. It doesn't suit him. He should either have, I believe, more of like gauntlets or brass knuckles, like a variation of brass knuckles, because the way that the size he is and the shape he is, he should be like a brawler kind of character, and him having brass knuckles, having to get close to people and punch them kind of thing, that'd be really interesting to have in a Dynasty Warriors game, and one guy is the perfect fit. Next person, Ling Tong and his 3 sectional staff. Get rid of that shit and give him back the nunchucks, because they were amazing. The nunchucks were amazing for him, and it's what I remember Ling Tong as in Dynasty Warriors 5, and what he really should be. And that it suits him perfect, like a martial arts person, because that's what he is, looks like and what he should be. Ding Feng, get rid of the circle blade, and again, give him something like one guy like gauntlets or brass knuckles or something along those lines, because he's a big, strong character. He should have like something that uses his strength and his muscles and his hands, because he feels like a hands-on kind of person. Next person is Liu Shan. He's got a table now, and it is literally the most stupidest weapon in the game. It's a fucking table. Get rid of the table, give him a sword. Like an emperor sword or a very fancy fencing sword. Something very fancy and like regal that he would suit. Next is Merdai, and the brush. Just don't get me started on the brush. It's literally a giant fucking brush. Get rid of that and give him some twin rods. Not like Taishitsu. More smaller, toned down. More like whipping rod kind of things. Smaller ones that he can do more acrobatic stuff with. Next person, Guansua. He's got some fucking big ass gnarly shoes. Get rid of the sabatons, the stupid shoes. Give him back some nunchucks, some nunchuka, because he suits that. Again, a martial arts kind of person. Next person, Fa Zheng, a new character. He has a fucking cloth. Literally, a cloth. How it kills people, I don't know. Even if it's magical, it's just a fucking piece of cloth. It's stupid, shouldn't be in the game. He should have something like Guo Hai, or Guo Hai, you know, the Jin guy who was in Wei. He has like that arm cannon kind of thing. Give Fa Zheng something like that, but it's a single sword, like a sword with like explosive, like a gun sword kind of thing, where he does like his normal attacks are like sword slices, then his power attacks are where like he shoots out a barrel or something, like shoots out some kind of small bullet kind of thing. That'd be pretty interesting and a cool thing to have. Sima Yi, he needs his whip. His fan back. Get rid of the horsehair whip he has, because that's just, it's embarrassing for him to have. It makes him look less scary, more kind of wimpy. So he really needs a fan back, and for him and Zhuge Liang to have like the similar weapons, they fight each other like two similar people but on different sides kind of thing. Deng Ai needs to have that lance back, or a variation of the lance, like a long polearm weapon, because the revolving crossbow just doesn't suit him. It's just too ridiculous. Next person, Zhuge Dan, who's got a pole. Doesn't look good, doesn't really fit his character. I think a spiked sword will be good. So he had like a long sword that had lots of spikes on it. So it makes him look more fearsome because he looks like in the stories and the games, a dog. So if he had like a more fearsome weapon, people would fear him, even though behind that, he's just like an ordinary dude kind of thing. Next person, Jayaba. Get rid of the siege spear. It doesn't suit him. It doesn't feel right for what he's wearing. Give him like a great sword or a sword and shield. Not like Jinkai's sword and shield. A proper sword and shield kind of medieval warrior feel to it, because he's wearing the armour. Give him the weapon appropriate to the armour. That'd be pretty cool and interesting to see. Next person. Someone I don't really like in the story, but I can understand why he's in there. Dongjue. He has bombs. And now, the bombs are stupid. It's like, I know it's like he's a fiendish and evil person, so he's got explosive bombs, but I think he should have like a giant hammer or something along those, like a two-armed, like a pike, I would say, but more of like a heavy object on the end of it, like a club he could swing around, but more of like a hammer-shaped thing, and that would be really interesting for him to show off his like strength, like an ugly weapon for an ugly dude. I think that'd be pretty cool to have. And finally, Chenggong. Get rid of the stupid scroll and give him a fan or something along those lines. Like a fan, like something that Zhuge Liang, something that Sima Yi has. Maybe a slight variation on it so that each one's different for each character, but the scroll just does not suit at all. So these next weapons and these next people are things, I like the weapons, but they should be improved slightly. So for example, Juran and his flame bow, make him stationary when he fires it, make it more like a bow and arrow kind of thing, and make the power attacks more fire orientated, so he's sending like more, like he just makes it stationary, so he's not just like zipping around the battlefield. It doesn't make sense. Next person, Pang Tong and his shadow fan. Make it more small and less looking like a fly swatter. Make it more like a broom, I would say, kind of thing, like he had in previous games, like a stick, like a walking stick kind of thing. That'll make him more like improved and make it more magical, not as fly swatty looking thing. Next person, Yue Ying and the bow blade. Make the blade longer and make the arrow attacks much better, because it would suit him much better. Next person, Guanjing and his wing blades. Make them faster, like faster attacking, and more impressive, because at the moment they seem kind of lackluster. It's like he's carrying around two big circle things. It's like weird looking things on his hand. He doesn't look scurry, doesn't look like it's going to do much damage. If they looked longer, sharper, more dangerous, and he actually used them properly to like more acrobatically, he feels like more strength involved in it, it would be pretty cool as well. Next person, Zhang Bao and the flail sword. If you're going to call it a sword, make it look like a sword, and maybe have it as a sword and chain kind of thing, like the flail is now, but maybe do it with the flail sword, so I actually have like a sword on the end of it where you can spin it around and do more stuff like that. That'd be much more interesting to see, like a mix between Cao Ren and Gan Ning at the moment. Like mix those weapons together, and that'd be a really cool flail sword. Next person, Wen Yang and his javelin. It should be more of a fucking spear. It should be a lot like a spear, but a javelin, if that makes sense. Not a throwable weapon, not a projectile. It should be a spear or a polearm, because it'll feel much better for him, and it'll give him more of a badass feel about it. And finally, Lian Shi or Lian Shi with the Mandarin duck hooks. One, rename them, anything other than that, and then make them larger, make them more fearsome, make them sharper, make them more deadly, and a better move list with it as well, because at the moment they look stupid kind of thing. Make them more dangerous and make them more fearsome and harder to like face kind of thing. But the next two things are the final two things I would want to see, and the first one is 4-way battles. Now, I loved it in Dynasty Warriors, it might have been 5 or 6, when somebody else invaded the battle. They had like a yellow symbol on the map, like the yellow troop colour, and they fought the enemy as well as you. So it's like a 3-way battle, but I think they could expand it to a 4-way battle. So you could have Wei, Wu and Shu fighting each other, then Lu Bu gets involved and he fights you, Wei and Wu if you are Shu. And then maybe colour coordinate the map to suit the kingdom. So for example, if you're Shu, you'll have green troops. If you're Wei, you will have blue troops. If you're Wu, red troops. Dongzhuo can have purple or black or something like that. Lu Bu can be purple and black. Yellow Turban's yellow. Yuan Shao like a gold colour. Just like go along that pattern, and it make it more interesting and easy as well to see who you're against. Like, am I fighting Wei or Wu? But it'll make it more simple, I would say. Then finally, commanding troops. You always used to have a troop number, and the troop number meant nothing. So I think they should actually make the troop number mean something. So the troops you have, you can send them out to different bases, different people, and bolster their unit or bolster a base, but more strategically. So you can send people to the front line, like your troops, the cannon fodder really, to the front line. They can then help, say for example, if Zhang Liao is stuck at the front lines and needs help, you can send troops to the front line. They will cover his escape. They will die, pretty much, but he will escape and get away, recover him at his strength. Then you can go and help him later on when you have time. Just something like that. Make the troops actually mean something, and you can use them strategically. That's what I want to see in the new game, like the gameplay features and the game itself. And finally, I want to know what you want to see and when you think the game will be released. So what kind of things you want to see, what weapons you want to see in the game, and also what characters, because with each new game there's come a new character or new characters. Now I have 3 examples of characters and also just a general idea. So I want Shermok, Li Hua, Meng De, and more Jin officers. I think that'd be really cool to have in the game. Shermok, the guy who killed Gan Ning. Li Hua, who was with Shu since it started, and then on to when it was really prosperous and good. And then Meng De, or Meng Da, because he was with Shu a long time as well and was like based with the Guan Yu. He was like a traitor as well. You can expand on their story a bit more as well. And more Jin officers to like bulk him up a bit. And then maybe He Jin. Give him He Jin as an other character. Give him a more of a storyline. And make him more predominant in the story. Like obviously the Yellow Turban Rebellion. Maybe make him show up in Dongzhuo Rebellion and help out Dongzhuo. Something like that. And then obviously have him get killed in the end or something. But that'd be really cool to see. So let me know in the comments below what characters you would like to see become main characters. And also any gameplay improvements or just general improvements you would like to see as well. So this has been Baxter. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Tell me in the comments below what you think. Check out that article in the description below as well. And yeah, if you have any suggestions for videos about any Dynasty Warriors games, let me know in the comments below and I'll try and get around to it. This has been Baxter. Thank you for watching this. Goodbye.